Alright guys, I'm finally going to do it for you. This is how to build your Nissan Juke MR16DDT. So in this video I'm just going to go over a few things to get started. I'm going to give a little of my background so you guys know exactly where the information is coming from. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you some information on the Juke itself that you need to know before you get into modifying your Juke. So let's get started. My name is Matthew Paris. I've been building Jukes since they actually came out. A good friend of mine went out and bought one. He came to me and said he wanted more out of it. There was no parts available for it. So I took it upon myself to make him a full bolt-on setup. I built what I believe is the first 200 all-wheel horsepower, 200 all-wheel torque full bolt-on Juke, which would be his. I built the most powerful front-wheel drive CVT Juke in North America. I don't know about the rest of the world. I don't know everybody. I used to own Mass RP, which was a large Juke parts production company. We were around for a couple of years. I worked at Nissan myself for a little over a year and a half. I have been a professional automotive technician since I was 18 years old, and prior to that I was an avid Nissan enthusiast. I've been working and building on cars since I was a kid. I also have built the first Juke, which would be the Insane Juke with a forged bottom end in it. Parts provided by 2J Racing. The car's still running and driving today. I'm also the first person in the process of doing a full legal 6-speed swap to a front-wheel drive Nissan Juke that is taking all necessary OEM components and putting them into a CVT non-standard car and making it so that it will pass emissions testing and the such. So that's enough about me. Let's get into information about the Juke. The Juke came to the United States in 2011 model year. It's equipped with the MR16DDT. It's the only engine that we get in the United States. The MR16DDT features a direct injection. It's a 4-cylinder, 1.6 liter with a turbocharger. There are two MR16DDTs. There's the version 1, which came from 2011 to 2014 and some 2015s. Then there's the version 2, which came in 2015 to current, and the new Turbo Sentras have the V2 engine as well. The V2 engine is a little different than the V1 engine. It's got a one-piece turbo and manifold, so you can't separate the turbocharger from the manifold itself. It has a variable oil pressure system in the oil pan, meaning it can control the amount of oil pressure that actually goes through the system. It has an integrated diverter valve, electronically controlled, unlike the V1, which has just your normal mechanical diverter valve, which is actually the same one that Subaru uses. And the V2 has a larger catalytic converter. And the biggest difference to the V2 is they add an EGR system, which just complicates absolutely everything. The Juke, when it came out to when it stopped production here in the United States, is available in 3 different drivetrains. You have your front-wheel drive CVT, your all-wheel drive CVT, and you have a 6-speed manual. Now the 6-speed manual is available with 2 different transmissions, both of which are 6-speed. One of them is a little beefier, and it's only available in the Nismo RS, and it also comes with a limited slip differential, whereas the non-Nismo RS 6-speeds all come with an open differential and a newer style transmission. The Juke's available in several trims, the S, the SL, the SV, the Nismo, and the Nismo RS. I know there's a lot of them. 5 trim levels for a freaking Juke is a lot. It's tough to keep track of them. All you need to know is the S, SL, and SV all look exactly the same. The Nismo and the Nismo RS look exactly the same. They have like a body kit to them and different wheels. But the Nismo RS comes with a better seat package, a slightly better interior package, and a tune. So in this video series, I'm going to be going over quite a few things, and I'm going to break it down into smaller videos so that you're not sitting here watching me talk for the next hour and a half to 2 hours, because I could do that. I actually wrote them down, so don't mind me as I read them. So it's going to go in this order. First video that I'm going to make after this is going to be about preventative modifications, or parts that you can actually put on your car, aftermarket parts, that actually will preserve the life of your engine or your transmission if you have a CVT. Maintenance schedules or scheduled maintenance. A properly maintained vehicle is going to be faster and outperform a poorly maintained vehicle. You can look at Honda Civics for that. We're going to go over why the CVT really isn't worse than the 6-speed when it comes to stock versus stock or slightly modified to slightly modified. And I'm not talking about racing on a racetrack, because let's admit it, probably only like 4 Jukes in the entire freaking world have actually stepped foot on a racetrack. Going to go over tuning. What is tuning, the differences between UpRev and ECU Tech, which are the only viable ways of tuning the Nissan Juke at this time as I'm recording this video. We're going to also go over the difference between dyno tuning and street tuning and why you should do one and not the other. A big thing that we're going to go over in another video is efficiency versus inefficiency with the MR16DDT. That one is going to be a little bit into the why mass-produced vehicles are kind of when it comes to performance, so we'll get to that. Cold air intake versus short ram intake. Why a cold air intake is really useless and why it is dangerous, and I actually have somebody who had an experience with one of those in a Juke who will be calling in for that video. We're going to go over exhaust setups and what you actually need to make any torque or power on the Juke. We're going to go over front mount intercoolers versus side mount intercoolers, what's better, why one is better than the other, and how to actually make your own front mount intercooler. We're going to go over manual boost controllers versus the OEM boost control system. And that's also going to include talk about aftermarket wastegate actuators. We're also going to talk about blow-off valves versus diverter valves, why blow-off valves are not good on untuned stock Jukes. We'll get into some pretty in-depth detail with that one. We're also going to talk about OEM turbochargers and true big turbo upgrades. And that's going to get into a heated discussion I can see now in the comments section. We're going to go over forged internals, when you need them and why you need them. And then we're also going to go through fueling, additional fuel sources, how to add extra injectors to the car, and alternative fuels that you can also add to the vehicle, and also fuels that you shouldn't be using in the vehicle, including E85, and we'll go over that. And finally, we're going to do one big video on how to make real power with your Juke. List out the dream setup that's going to get you whatever you want based on the factory turbocharger, and I'll also go over what you're going to need to make true power using an actual bigger turbocharger like this Precision that's sitting here. So make sure you subscribe and set notifications for the channel so you know when these videos are coming out. I'm going to try to do one every week or so, and then at the end I'll compile them all into one big video. So that if you ever want to download it or watch it all the way through, you can watch it all the way through. But make sure you do hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, also share this around all the MR16 pages that I know all of you are a part of.